She partied at the club with her tattooed boyfriend while I sat home with our kids. Sent me a photo. Just dancing. When I replied with a picture of her secret phone, she sprinted home in minutes. But I was already gone. And so was $83,000 from a trust fund she thought I'd never find. My name is Blake Carter. I'm 45 years old. And until 3 weeks ago, I thought I had everything figured out. I work as a business development director at MedCore Solutions, a healthcare company based in Phoenix. Decent salary, good benefits, the kind of job that lets you sleep easy at night knowing the bills are covered, and then some. My wife Diana is 40, looks younger thanks to Pilates and expensive face creams. We got 2 kids from my first marriage. Lily is 16, whip smart, probably going to be valedictorian, if she keeps her grades up. Noah is 14, lives and breathes basketball, already taller than me. Diana came into our lives 8 years ago, right when I needed someone most. My first wife bailed when the kids were tiny. Couldn't handle being a mother, I guess. Just left one morning and never came back. Diana seemed like a miracle back then. She was patient with Lily and Noah. She supported my career moves. We got married after dating for a year, and honestly, for a long time things were good. Really good. But somewhere along the way, things changed. It was subtle at first. Diana started going out more. Girls' nights turned into a weekly ritual, then twice a week, then 3 times. New clothes started appearing in her closet. Tighter, younger. Stuff that made me do a double take when she'd walk out the door. When I mentioned it, she'd brush me off. I'm 40, not dead, Diana would say, rolling her eyes like I was being ridiculous. You don't want me to let myself go, do you? What was I supposed to say to that? So I didn't say anything. I figured she was going through something, maybe a midlife thing, and she'd work it out on her own. 3 weeks ago, everything exploded. It was a Thursday night. Diana came into the kitchen while I was helping Noah with his algebra homework and announced she was going to some club called Vertigo. Not asked. Announced. She was wearing a dress that barely covered anything, heels tall enough to need a building permit. Don't wait up, she said, grabbing her purse. I looked up from Noah's textbook. It's Thursday. Don't you have that presentation in the morning? Diana's eyes narrowed. I can manage my own schedule, Blake. I'm just saying. You're always just saying something, she interrupted, her tone sharp enough to cut. Maybe that's your problem. She walked out. The door slammed, so hard the pictures on the wall rattled. Noah kept his pencil frozen over his notebook. Even at 14, he could read a room. Is Mom okay? He asked quietly. She's fine, I lied. Just work stress. But she wasn't fine. And deep down, I knew it. Around 11:30 that night, my phone buzzed. A message from Diana. Just a photo, no words. She was at the club, pressed against some guy with slicked back hair and a snake tattoo crawling up his neck. Her hand was on his chest. His arm was wrapped around her waist. She looked happier than I'd seen her in months. The caption read, "Relax, babe. Just dancing. Just dancing." My hands were shaking as I stared at the screen. I called her. It rang 4 times before she picked up, and when she did, I could barely hear her over the pounding music in the background. "What?" Diana shouted. Her voice had that loose, drunk quality I'd come to recognize. "What the hell is this?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "What's what?" "The photo you just sent me." "Oh my God, Blake," she groaned, annoyed. "It's nothing. We're having fun. You remember fun, right?" "Diana, come home." "No." "Diana, you know what?" Her voice turned ice cold. "I'm sick of this. Sick of you acting like you own me. If you don't like it, Blake, then divorce me." The words hung in the air between us, sharp and final. "What did you just say?" I asked slowly. "You heard me," Diana said. "Don't like it? Then divorce me." She hung up. I stood there in my kitchen, phone still in my hand, listening to the dial tone. Everything had just changed. After Diana hung up on me, I stood in that kitchen for a solid 5 minutes, just breathing. Noah had gone upstairs to his room. The house was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of Lily's music playing through her bedroom door. I walked to our bedroom like a man on autopilot. Opened Diana's nightstand drawer, the one she thought I never touched, the one she believed was her private space, sacred and off-limits. There it was, a cheap burner phone, tucked behind a stack of old birthday cards and a half-empty bottle of travel perfume. I'd found it 2 weeks ago when I was looking for our insurance cards. At first, I thought maybe it was old, left over from some previous job or something innocent. Then I charged it. The phone lit up with message after message. Hundreds of them. All from a contact, saved simply as H. No name. Just a letter. Like that somehow made it less real. Hunter Vale. 37 years old. Bartender at Vertigo. The same club Diana was at right now. The same guy from the photo she just sent me. Slick back hair. Snake tattoo. Cocky smile. I'd read every message. Seen every photo. Listened to voice notes that made my stomach turn. For 2 weeks, I'd carried this knowledge around like a lead weight, saying nothing. Just watching. Waiting. Making copies of everything and storing them in a cloud folder Diana didn't know existed. Tonight, she'd finally pushed me far enough. I took a photo of the open drawer with the burner phone sitting right there, screen glowing. The message thread with H was pulled up, showing their plans to meet tonight. I didn't include any text. Didn't need to. I sent it to Diana. One word. Oops. Then I grabbed my keys and walked out of the house. My phone started ringing before I reached my car. Diana. I declined the call. It rang again immediately. Declined. A text popped up. Blake, answer the phone now. Another text. Where are you? Another. What did you do with my phone? I got in my car and started driving. Didn't have a destination in mind. Just needed to move, needed to think. My hand was shaking on the steering wheel. The phone kept buzzing. Call after call. Text after text. I could picture Diana in that club, probably in the bathroom now. Panic spreading across her face as she realized what I'd just done. Good. Let her panic. I drove to a 24-hour diner on the edge of town. The kind of place where nobody asks questions. Slid into a booth in the back corner. Ordered coffee I didn't want. The waitress looked like she'd seen everything twice. Didn't even blink at a guy sitting alone at 1 in the morning looking like his world just ended. My phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't Diana. It was a notification from our shared Uber account. Someone had just requested a ride from Vertigo to our home address. Estimated arrival, 14 minutes. She was coming home. Not because she wanted to talk. Not because she felt guilty. She was coming home to do damage control. To grab that phone. To delete evidence. To spin some story that would make me the bad guy for invading her privacy. I finished my coffee. Left a 20 on the table. Got back in my car and started the drive to the one person who deserved to know the truth before Diana could twist it into something else. Her sister, Nicole. Nicole had been Diana's maid of honor at our wedding. She was the responsible one in their family. The one who'd pulled me aside once at a Christmas party 2 years ago and asked quietly if Diana was treating me right. I'd brushed it off then, made excuses. I wasn't making excuses anymore. I pulled up to Nicole's apartment complex around 1:30 in the morning. Texted her. I need to talk. It's important. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, come up. 3B. She opened the door in sweatpants and an oversized t-shirt, hair in a messy bun. Concern written all over her face. Blake, what happened? I held up my phone, showing her the cloud folder. I need you to see something, I said quietly. And I need you to know the truth before Diana gets to you first. Nicole stepped aside, letting me in. It was time to stop protecting Diana's secrets. Nicole's apartment was small but comfortable. Photos of her kids lined the walls. Toys scattered across the living room floor. She'd gotten divorced 3 years ago, raised 2 boys on her own, while working as a paralegal. Strong woman. The kind who didn't take garbage from anyone. She made us coffee while I set up my laptop on her kitchen table. The clock on her microwave read 1:47 a.m. Blake, you're scaring me, Nicole said, sitting down across from me. What's going on? I turned the laptop toward her and opened the cloud folder. Your sister's been having an affair. Has been for at least 6 months, maybe longer. I found a burner phone 2 weeks ago. This is everything. Nicole's face went pale as she scrolled through the messages. Her hand covered her mouth. Then she clicked on a photo, and her eyes filled with tears. Oh my God, she whispered. Blake, I'm so sorry. There's more, I said quietly. See the messages from March? The ones about the clinic. Nicole found them. Read them. Her face changed from sympathy to something harder. Anger. She told me she had a miscarriage, Nicole said slowly. She called me crying. Said you two lost a baby. That it was tearing you apart. My jaw clenched. There was no miscarriage, Nicole. Look at the dates. She was with him that day. The clinic wasn't for a miscarriage. Nicole kept reading. Her hands were shaking now. She got rid of it, she said, her voice barely audible. She got rid of his baby and lied to everyone. To me. To her own sister. I nodded. And she used it to manipulate everyone's sympathy. Your mom sent us $1,000 to help with medical bills. Remember that. Oh God. Nicole pushed the laptop away, unable to look anymore. I can't believe this. I mean, I can, but I don't want to. Diana's always been selfish, but this. There's something else you need to know, I said. Diana's been taking money from the kids' college fund. The trust my mother set up for Lily and Noah. Diana had access as co-trustee. Over $40,000 is gone. Nicole's head snapped up. What? I pulled up the bank statements I printed earlier in the week. Showed her the withdrawals. She's been pulling it out slowly over the past year. 500 here, 1,000 there. It all went to a separate account I didn't know existed. Can you prove it was her? Every withdrawal has her electronic signature. And look at the dates. I pointed to the screen. They line up with expensive gifts Hunter posted on his social media. New watch. Motorcycle payment. Rent for an apartment across town. Nicole stood up and walked to her window, arms crossed, staring out at the dark parking lot. I need to tell you something, she said finally. Something I should have told you 2 years ago. I waited. At my Christmas party, remember? Diana got drunk and started flirting with my friend's husband. Really aggressive flirting. I pulled her aside and she laughed it off. Said she was just having fun, that you didn't pay attention to her anymore anyway. Nicole turned to face me. She said you were boring. That marrying you was settling. That she deserved better. The words stung, but they didn't surprise me. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. Because she's my sister. Because I thought maybe she was just drunk and stupid. Because I didn't want to blow up your family over something that might have been nothing. Nicole's voice broke. I'm sorry, Blake. I should have said something. It's not your fault, I said. None of this is your fault. My phone buzzed. A text from Diana. I'm home. Where are you? We need to talk now. I showed Nicole the message. She shook her head. Don't go home tonight, Nicole said firmly. Stay here. Sleep on the couch. Let her sweat it out. She needs to understand you're not the same guy she's been walking all over. I thought about it. About Diana pacing around our house, probably tearing through drawers looking for that burner phone, realizing I had everything, realizing she'd lost control. You're right, I said. I'll stay. Nicole grabbed blankets from her closet. Tomorrow morning, first thing, we call a lawyer. My firm does family law. I'll get you in with the best we have. Thank you, I said, for believing me, for not defending her. Nicole's eyes hardened. She stopped being my sister the moment she started destroying you and those kids. Family doesn't do this. I didn't sleep much on Nicole's couch. Maybe 2 hours total. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Diana's face. Heard her voice on the phone, saying she was done pretending I was enough. My phone had 43 missed calls by morning. 37 from Diana. 6 from numbers I didn't recognize. Probably Hunter or one of Diana's friends she'd recruited to her side of the story. I didn't listen to the voicemails. Didn't read the texts. Not yet. Nicole woke up around 7, made coffee, and called her office before the kids even got up for Saturday morning cartoons. By 8 a.m., I had an appointment with Richard Vance, senior family law attorney. He's expensive, Nicole warned, but he's ruthless. And in cases like this, you need ruthless. We met at his office at 9. Richard was 50-something, gray hair, expensive suit, no-nonsense handshake. He listened to my story without interrupting. I showed him the cloud folder, the bank statements, everything. When I finished, Richard leaned back in his leather chair and steepled his fingers. Mr. Carter, you've done 90% of my job for me already, he said. The evidence you have is ironclad. The financial fraud alone is enough to destroy her in court. The affair is icing on the cake. What happens now? I asked. Now we file for divorce. Immediately. We also file an emergency motion regarding the trust fund theft. That's not just divorce court territory. That's potentially criminal. Identity theft. Embezzlement from a trust account. He pulled out a yellow legal pad. Do you want full custody of your children? They're from my first marriage. Diana never formally adopted them. Even better. Clean break. We'll push for her to have zero claim on anything related to them. No custody, no visitation unless they request it, and certainly no access to their finances. Richard made notes. What about the house? Joint ownership. We bought it together 6 years ago. We'll force a sale. Split the proceeds, minus what she stole. I'm assuming you want nothing to do with her after this. Nothing. I confirmed. Richard nodded. Good. Scorched earth approach. My specialty. I'll have papers drawn up by Monday. We'll serve her at her workplace. Maximum embarrassment. Maximum pressure. Nicole, sitting next to me, squeezed my hand. Her office is going to love that, she said with grim satisfaction. One more thing, Richard said. Does she know you have a lawyer yet? No. Keep it that way. Don't respond to her calls or texts. Let her panic. Let her think maybe you're going to forgive her like you probably have before. Then we hit her with papers when she least expects it. I nodded. It felt cold. Calculated. But Diana had been cold and calculated for months while she destroyed our marriage. Turnabout was fair play. We left Richard's office around 10:30. Nicole offered to drive me home to get some clothes in my car, but I wasn't ready. Not yet. Can we stop somewhere first? I asked. Where? Lily's volleyball tournament. It's at the high school. Starts at 11. Nicole smiled. You're a good dad, Blake. I'm trying to be. We got to the high school gym just as Lily's team was warming up. I spotted her immediately, number 12, blonde ponytail bouncing as she practiced serves. When she saw me walk in, her whole face lit up. She jogged over during a water break. Dad, I didn't think you were coming. Where's Diana? She's not feeling well. I lied. But I wouldn't miss this for anything. Lily hugged me hard. Thanks, Dad. It means a lot. As she ran back to the court, I saw Diana walk in from the opposite entrance. She looked terrible. No makeup. Hair thrown into a messy bun. Dark circles under her eyes. She scanned the bleachers, and her eyes locked onto mine. I turned away and sat down. Nicole positioned herself between us like a bodyguard. Diana climbed the bleachers toward us. Blake, we need to talk, she hissed. Not here, I said calmly, eyes on the court. Not now. You can't just ignore me. This is ridiculous. I said not here, Diana. She reached for my arm. Nicole stood up, her 5'2" frame somehow intimidating. He said no. Back off. Diana's eyes widened when she recognized her sister. Nicole, what are you doing here? Supporting Blake, Nicole said coldly. Unlike you. People were starting to stare. Diana's face flushed red. She glanced at Lily on the court, then back at me. Fine, Diana said through clenched teeth. But this isn't over. She turned and walked out of the gym. I watched Lily play, trying to focus on her serves, her digs, her excitement when her team scored. But my mind was elsewhere. Monday couldn't come fast enough. Monday morning came faster than I expected. I dropped Lily and Noah off at school, watching them walk through those front doors like any other day. Except it wasn't any other day. Everything was different now, even if they didn't fully understand it yet. I met Richard Vance at his office at 9 sharp. He had the divorce papers ready, stacked neatly in a manila folder. Everything's here, Richard said, sliding the papers across his desk. Irreconcilable differences due to adultery. We're pushing for full financial disclosure, immediate freeze on all joint accounts, and restitution for the trust fund theft. I've also included a motion to compel her to submit to a deposition about the missing funds. I signed where he indicated. My hand was steady. No hesitation. When does she get served? I asked. Today. Around noon. I've arranged for a process server to deliver them at her workplace. Richard leaned back in his chair. MedTech Solutions, correct? Where she works as a marketing coordinator. That's right, I said. She'll be in the middle of her team meeting. Richard smiled. Not a warm smile. A predator's smile. Perfect timing. Maximum impact. She'll have witnesses, which means she can't cause a scene without damaging her professional reputation. What if she refuses to sign? Doesn't matter. She just has to receive them. After that, the clock starts ticking. She has 30 days to respond. He pulled out another document. I'm also filing a motion for temporary orders regarding the house. You'll maintain primary residence. She can remove her personal belongings with police escort. But that's it. What about her access to our accounts? I've drafted letters to your bank. They'll freeze joint access within 24 hours. She can't withdraw, can't transfer. Everything's locked down until the court decides how to divide assets. I felt a weight lift off my chest. For weeks I'd been playing defense, reacting to Diana's lies. Now I was on offense. There's one more thing, Richard said. Your sister-in-law, Nicole, contacted me this morning. She's willing to testify about conversations she had with Diana. About the fake miscarriage. About Diana's comments regarding the trust fund. She's furious. Said her sister has been manipulating the whole family for years, and she's done protecting her. Richard made a note on his legal pad. Family members who flip make excellent witnesses. Judges trust them. We wrapped up around 10. Richard walked me to the elevator. Mr. Carter, he said, I've been doing this for 26 years. I can tell within 5 minutes if a client is going to cave when things get emotional. You won't. You're going to see this through. Damn right I am, I said. I drove to work, sat through 2 meetings I barely paid attention to, and waited. At 12:17 p.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Nicole. She just got served. My friend works in her building. Said Diana screamed to the process server in the lobby. Good. At 12:45, Diana called. I didn't answer. She called again. And again. 12 calls in 15 minutes. Then the text started. You serve me at work? Are you insane? Everyone saw. Everyone. Do you have any idea what you just did to me? Call me right now, or I swear to God. Blake. I put my phone on silent and went back to work. That evening, I picked up the kids from school. Lily was quiet, staring out the window. Noah kept glancing at me from the back seat like he wanted to ask something, but didn't know how. We stopped for pizza. Their favorite place, the one with the arcade games in the back. Noah demolished 3 slices before he finally spoke. Dad, are you and Diana getting divorced? Lily's head snapped up. She'd been pushing pepperoni around her plate, barely eating. I put down my slice. Yeah, buddy. We are. Because she cheated? The word hung in the air. Cheated. He was 14. He knew what it meant. Yes, I said. Because she cheated. Because she lied. Because she did things that broke our marriage beyond repair. Good, Noah said simply. He went back to his pizza like we just discussed the weather. Lily wasn't so calm. Where's she going to live? She asked quietly. I don't know yet. That's for the lawyers to figure out. Is she going to try to take the house? She might try, but it's not going to happen. Lily nodded, still not eating. I heard her on the phone yesterday. She was crying to her mom. She said you were being cruel, that you humiliated her on purpose. I served her divorce papers, I said. That's not cruel. That's called consequences. She also said she's broke, that you froze all her credit cards. I froze her joint accounts. I corrected. She still has her own personal account. And her paycheck. She's not broke. She's just not used to living within her means. Noah snorted. She spent like $400 last week on shoes. I saw the boxes. How do you know they were $400? I asked. I saw the receipt in the trash, Noah admitted. I was throwing away my Gatorade bottle, and it was just sitting there. 4 pairs. $467 total. I filed that information away. Richard would want to know about unnecessary spending. Listen, I said, looking at both of them. I know this is hard. I know you're confused and probably angry. But I need you to understand something. I didn't do this to hurt Diana. I did this to protect myself. And to protect both of you. We know, Dad, Lily said. Her eyes were wet. We're not mad at you. We're just processing. Take all the time you need, I said. We finished eating and played a few arcade games. Noah beat me at basketball shootout. Lily won a stuffed dolphin from the claw machine. For an hour, we pretended everything was normal. When we got home, Diana's car was in the driveway. Wednesday afternoon, Richard called me with news I wasn't expecting. Blake, we need to talk about the trust fund, he said, his voice serious. I had a forensic accountant go through the statements. It's worse than we thought. I was at my desk at MedCorp, door closed. How much worse? $83,000. Gone. Over the past 18 months. The number hit me like a physical blow. 83,000. I thought it was 40. That's what you caught, Richard said. But she was good. Really good. Small withdrawals at first. 500 here, 1,000 there. Then she got bolder. Started pulling out 5, 6,000 at a time. The last withdrawal was 2 weeks ago. $7,000. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. My mother had set up that trust with $200,000 when Lily and Noah were born. It was supposed to pay for college, give them a head start in life. Where did it go? I asked. We're tracing it, but preliminary findings show transfers to an account under Hunter Vale's name. Rent payments for an apartment in Scottsdale. A Ducati motorcycle purchased in cash. Bar tabs of Vertigo averaging $3,000 a month. She was funding his entire lifestyle. I said slowly. Essentially, yes. And here's the kicker. Some of those withdrawals required 2 trustee signatures. Yours and hers. I never signed anything, I said. I know. Which means she forged your signature. That's identity theft, Blake. That's fraud. And when it involves a trust account meant for minors, that's a felony. I sat forward. What are you saying? I'm saying we can pursue criminal charges. I've already spoken with the DA's office. They're interested. Very interested. Do it, I said without hesitation. File the complaint. Blake, you understand what this means? Diana could face jail time. 3 to 5 years potentially. I understand. And I want you to file it anyway. Richard was quiet for a moment. Okay. I'll have the paperwork drawn up today. After I hung up, I sat there trying to process it. Diana hadn't just cheated on me. She'd stolen from my children, from their future, and she'd done it systematically, carefully, for over a year. That evening, I told Lily and Noah. We were in the living room, them on the couch, me in the chair. I've been dreading this conversation. There's something else you need to know, I said, about the college fund Grandma set up for you. Lily's face went pale. What about it? Diana took money from it. A lot of money. Without permission. She forged my signature on the withdrawal forms. Noah leaned forward. How much? $83,000. The room went silent. Lily's hands were shaking. Noah's jaw was clenched so tight I could see the muscles working. That was for college, Lily whispered. Grandma saved for years. She sold her house in Michigan, downsized to that apartment, put the money aside for us. I know, sweetheart. Can we get back? Noah asked. We're trying. The lawyers are working on it. But might take time. Lily stood up abruptly. I hate her, she said, her voice breaking. I actually hate her. How could she do that to us? I don't know, I admitted. Does Grandma know? Noah asked. That question gutted me. My mother was 72, living on a fixed income in her small apartment. That trust fund had been her legacy to her grandchildren. Not yet, I said. But I'll have to tell her. She's going to be heartbroken, Lily said. I know. Noah stood up. Dad, I want to testify. If this goes to court, I want the judge to hear what she did. Me too, Lily added. I looked at my kids, these strong, brave kids who'd been through too much already, and felt pride mixed with rage. We'll talk to Richard about it, I said. Friday came and brought a problem I should have anticipated. Parent-teacher conferences. Lily had them scheduled for her junior year progress reports. Both parents were supposed to attend. I drove to the high school alone, figuring Diana wouldn't show. I was wrong. She was waiting in the hallway outside Lily's English teacher's classroom, arms crossed, looking thin and tired. She lost weight. Her clothes hung loose on her frame. We need to present a united front, Diana said when she saw me. For Lily's sake. There is no united front, I replied coldly. There's no us anymore. Blake, please. The teachers don't need to know our business. Our business. Diana, you stole from my kids and cheated on me. That's not business. That's criminal behavior. A teacher walked past, glancing at us curiously. Diana's face flushed. Lower your voice, she hissed. No. Mrs. Patterson, Lily's English teacher, opened her door. Mr. and Mrs. Carter, we're ready for you. We sat in those tiny student desks, 3 feet apart, while Mrs. Patterson discussed Lily's essay on the Great Gatsby. Diana smiled and nodded like everything was normal, like we were just another couple at parent conferences. Halfway through, I couldn't take it anymore. Mrs. Patterson, I need to inform you that Diana and I are divorcing. She won't be living in the household anymore. All school communications should come to me. Mrs. Patterson blinked, clearly uncomfortable. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Don't be, I said. It's for the best. Diana stood up abruptly. I can't do this. She grabbed her purse and walked out. Mrs. Patterson watched her go, then turned to me with sympathy in her eyes. Is Lily okay? She seemed distracted lately. She's dealing with a lot at home, I admitted. But she's strong. She'll get through it. We finished the conference. I met with Noah's teachers alone. While I walked back to my car, Diana was leaning against it, crying. You humiliated me in there, she said. I told the truth. I corrected. That's not humiliation. That's just facts. Blake, please. Can we talk? Really talk. I unlocked my car. We have nothing to talk about. Yes, we do, Diana insisted, moving to block my door. I made mistakes. Huge mistakes. But I love you. I love this family. We can fix this. Fix what, Diana? The affair? The lies? The $83,000 you stole from my kids? Her face went white. How did you? Find out. Forensic accountant. Your signatures didn't match mine. Turns out forgery leaves a trail. I open my car door, forcing her to step back. The DA's office is pursuing charges. Identity theft. Fraud. Embezzlement. You're looking at felony counts. You're trying to put me in jail? Her voice rose to a near shriek. Over money. Over stealing from children, I said flatly. My children. The ones you pretended to love. I do love them. No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't have stolen their future to fund your boyfriend's lifestyle. I got in my car. Diana pounded on the window, still crying, still pleading. I backed out carefully and drove away, watching her in my rearview mirror until she disappeared. When I got home, Lily and Noah were doing homework at the kitchen table. How were the conferences? Lily asked. Fine. Your teachers say you're doing great. Was Diana there? Noah asked carefully. She was. Briefly. Did she cause a scene? Lily's voice was flat, like she already knew the answer. A small one. Noah shook his head. Of course she did. 3 months later, I walked into the Maricopa County Courthouse with Richard Vance on one side and Nicole on the other. Lily and Noah were with my mother in the gallery, both dressed in their Sunday best. They'd insisted on being there. Diana sat at the defendant's table with her public defender. She couldn't afford a private attorney anymore. Hunter had disappeared the moment criminal charges were filed, blocked her number, deleted his social media, and vanished like smoke. She'd lost 20 pounds since I'd last seen her. Her hair was pulled back in a severe bun. Dark circles shadowed her eyes. She looked small, broken. Part of me felt sorry for her. A very small part. The rest of me remembered the $83,000 she'd stolen from my children. The criminal case for embezzlement had been fast-tracked because of the overwhelming evidence. Richard had provided bank statements, forged signatures, and digital trails showing money flowing from the trust directly to Hunter's accounts. The DA called it one of the cleanest cases of identity theft and fraud she'd seen in her 15-year career. Nicole testified first. She took the stand in a navy blue suit, her voice steady and clear. She explained how Diana had lied about the miscarriage, how she'd manipulated the entire family for sympathy and money, how she'd stolen from our mother while pretending to be the devoted daughter-in-law. My sister has always been selfish, Nicole said, not looking at Diana. But I never thought she'd stoop to stealing from children. That's a level of cruelty I didn't think she was capable of. The judge listened intently, making notes on her legal pad. Then my mother took the stand. She was 72, still sharp as ever, wearing the navy dress she'd bought for Lily's confirmation. When the prosecutor asked about the trust fund, her voice shook but didn't break. I saved for 15 years, my mother said, gripping the witness stand railing. After my husband died, I sold our house in Michigan, the house where we raised our children, where we celebrated every Christmas and birthday. I downsized to a small apartment and put that money aside for Lily and Noah's education. It was supposed to be my legacy to them, my final gift. Her voice hardened, and she stole it to buy her boyfriend a motorcycle. Diana was crying at the defense table, shoulders shaking. Her lawyer kept whispering to her, probably telling her to keep it together, that the jury was watching. Lily testified next. At 16, she was poised and articulate, speaking clearly into the microphone. She explained how Diana had changed over the past 2 years, becoming distant and cruel. How she'd found Diana's second phone, once while looking for car keys, and seen messages she shouldn't have seen. I didn't tell my dad right away, Lily admitted, her hands folded in her lap. I thought maybe I misunderstood what I saw. Maybe it was innocent. But then I saw the bank statements Dad had printed out. I saw my college fund disappearing month by month. And I realized she'd been stealing from Noah and me the whole time. The defense attorney tried to paint Diana as a woman who'd made mistakes in a troubled marriage. Tried to suggest I'd been emotionally distant, controlling, that Diana had acted out of desperation and loneliness. Noah shut that down immediately. When he took the stand, still wearing his basketball warm-up jacket because he'd come straight from practice, the prosecutor asked if I'd ever been controlling or abusive. My dad is the best man I know, Noah said clearly, looking directly at the jury. He worked 2 jobs when we were little to keep us fed and clothed. He coached my basketball team, even though he knew nothing about basketball. He learned from me. He never missed a game or a school event, even when he was exhausted. And Diana took advantage of that. She took advantage of him being a good person who trusted people. The defense attorney had no follow-up questions. After 2 days of testimony, the judge delivered her ruling on a Friday afternoon. Diana was found guilty on all counts: identity theft, forgery, and embezzlement from a trust account. When the verdict was read, Diana collapsed in her chair, sobbing. Her mother, sitting in the back row, stood up and walked out of the courtroom without looking at her daughter. That single act spoke volumes. Outside the courthouse, reporters were waiting. The local news had picked up the story. Phoenix marketing executive steals $83,000 from stepchildren's college fund to fund affair with bartender. Richard had prepared me for this. I made a brief statement to the cameras. Justice was served today. My children's future was stolen by someone they trusted. But today they got it back. That's all I have to say. Richard negotiated a restitution agreement over the following week. Diana would pay back every penny of the $83,000, even if it took her the rest of her life. The divorce was finalized a week after the criminal trial. I got the house, full custody of all financial decisions regarding Lily and Noah, and Diana got nothing. No assets, no alimony, nothing. At sentencing 2 weeks later, the judge gave Diana 18 months in minimum security prison, followed by 3 years of probation and mandatory financial counseling. "You betrayed the trust of children," the judge said, looking down at Diana over her reading glasses. "You stole their future to fund a selfish, destructive affair. There are real consequences for that kind of betrayal." Diana was let out in handcuffs. She glanced at me once as she passed our row. I looked away. Nicole grabbed my hand as we watched her sister disappear through the courthouse doors. "It's finally over," she said quietly. "Yeah," I replied. "It is." 14 months after the courthouse, I stood in Lily's high school auditorium watching her accept the valedictorian medal. Her speech about resilience and family brought half the audience to tears, including me. She'd earned a full ride to Arizona State University with plans to study pre-med. All those late nights studying, all that determination, had paid off. Noah sat next to me, now 15 and already 6'2". He'd made varsity basketball as a sophomore, something almost unheard of at his school. College scouts were already watching him. He had his mother's height and my work ethic. Dangerous combination. My mother sat on my other side, squeezing my hand during Lily's speech. We'd recovered most of the stolen money through the restitution agreement. Diana was making monthly payments from her prison job and would continue for years after release. Combined with what remained in the trust and some additional savings I'd added, both kids would graduate college debt-free. After the ceremony, we went to Lily's favorite Italian restaurant to celebrate. She was radiant in her graduation dress, laughing with her friends who joined our table, making plans for freshman orientation in August. Watching her joy, seeing her free from the shadow of Diana's betrayal, made everything I'd fought for worthwhile. "Speech, Dad," Noah said, grinning mischievously. "You have to make a speech. It's tradition." I stood up, feeling awkward, but overwhelmingly proud. "Lily, I've watched you grow from a scared little girl whose mom abandoned her into this incredible young woman. You're smart, you're kind, you're resilient. You faced challenges no kid should face, and you came through stronger. I'm so proud to be your father." Lily's eyes filled with tears. She stood and hugged me hard. "Thanks, Dad, for everything, for fighting for us, for protecting us, for showing Noah and me what a real parent looks like, what real love looks like." The table erupted in applause. Later that night, after the kids were asleep, I sat on my back porch with a cold beer, looking up at the Arizona stars. My phone buzzed. A text from Nicole. "Diana's being released next month. Thought you should know. She's moving to Tucson. Wants a fresh start away from Phoenix." I stared at the message for a long moment, then deleted it. Diana was part of my past now. A closed chapter in a book I'd moved beyond. I'd been dating again for about 6 months. Nothing too serious yet, but I'd met someone at a healthcare conference in San Diego. Her name was Sarah. She was a hospital administrator, divorced, no kids. Kind eyes, easy laugh. Didn't play games or expect me to read her mind. We took things slow, which suited us both. The kids had met her twice. Casual meetings, nothing forced. "She's normal, Dad," Noah had said after the second time. "That's actually really nice." Normal. Yeah, that was nice. Revolutionary, even. I thought about everything that had happened over the past 2 years. The discovery, the betrayal, the legal battles, the fear that my kids would be permanently damaged by Diana's actions. It had been the hardest period of my life, bar none, but it had also been the most important. I'd learned I was stronger than I thought, that I could stand up for myself and my children when it mattered most, that I didn't have to accept being treated like garbage just to keep the peace or maintain the illusion of a happy family. Diana had tried to break me. She'd expected me to crumble, to forgive, to take her back like I always had before. Instead, she'd accidentally forged me into something harder, something unbreakable. 2 years after the divorce was finalized, I got a letter, handwritten on lined paper, forwarded through Richard's office with a note. She's been sending these monthly. Thought you should finally see one. It was from Diana. Blake, I know you probably won't read this, but I need to say it anyway. I'm sorry for the affair, the lies, the money I stole, for betraying you and the kids, for being the worst version of myself and taking you down with me. You deserve so much better. Lily and Noah deserve better. I was selfish and cruel, and I destroyed the best thing in my life. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that you were right about everything. I hope you're happy now. I hope Lily and Noah are thriving. That's more than I deserve to hope for, but I hope it anyway. Diana. I read it once, slowly. Then I folded it carefully and placed it in a box in my closet alongside the divorce papers and court documents. Maybe someday the kids will want to read it. Maybe not. That would be their choice. For now, it didn't matter. I was happy. The kids were happy. We'd survive the storm and come out stronger, closer, better on the other side. And honestly, that was more than enough.